This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there. All right, so we're live on location in Chicago, Illinois, at the one and only Hot Bod Linda Steve's house in her bedroom. She doesn't even know that I'm in her bedroom. I actually snuck in here while she's training someone, and I said, too bad Terry's not here to see this, because she would have fun, Terry. So anyhow, I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. Here we are live on K4HD Radio, Talkboard Media, all the platforms around the world, and having fun in Chicago, Illinois. So I had to have Roxy on, and I had to have Terri back again, because Terri, you just came from where?
I just came back from Wisconsin from the film festival, and we had a blast. It was really cold there. I wasn't prepared for the cold weather.
Roxy, it wasn't cold. She just thinks it was cold. It wasn't that cold.
It's like 80 degrees in California. So when you're not used to Siberia weather, no.
No. I bet it's extreme when you're not used to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming from, basically you could like pretty much still go to the beach and, you know, lay out. I mean, it's a little bit chilly, but I mean, you can still get a tan and lay out like in California. So when you go to some below,
don't listen to Terry. It was 50 degrees. It was actually quite nice.
No, it was okay. Being from California, it's cold. It was not, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not going to say that. It's absolutely gorgeous there, but it's cold. So, and I didn't have gloves in, so felt like my nose was going to fall off. But once I was like in, you know, the settings with everything, no, we had a blast actually.
All right, Terri, talk about being on the panel. Talk about your first time going to Beloit, because it's a nice city. I would actually like to bring a lot of other people back there. Talk about that. What's your experience?
Well, actually, we all got to talk about what each of the co-hosts has been doing. You know, Linda got to talk about her gym and her meal plans. I mean, her meal prep. Her daughters were there. Macro made meals is her meals. We got to finally try them out. They're excellent. Let me see. So we got to answer questions.
Talk about being at the Iron Tech. The Iron Tech. Talk about being at the Iron Tech where we were.
Talk about you're breaking up, hon.
The Iron Tech where we were.
Oh, the Iron Tech, the hotel?
Everything.
Oh, okay. Well, we stayed at the Iron Tech. The hotel was really nice. You know, in the Midwest, everything is like bricks there. So it's like a different environment. There was a really nice steakhouse. We got to go to the steakhouse and watch a band play. That was the first night I got in there. I took a red eye and I was there Friday. Did some work on Friday. We went to dinner. We had the panel on Saturday. Saturday night, we got to see a screening, and then we went out on the town with all of us, and that was really fun too. Didn't you have fun, Brian?
Roxy, in other words, Terri had fun. She had a bunch of drinks. She said she wasn't going to, But no, we all had fun, and we got the chance to see our other co-host Jessica from Tennessee. We hadn't seen her since 2019.
Yeah, Jessica was there. Yeah, it was just nice because we each got to kind of talk about, you know, where we came from, what we've been doing. And I don't know, you want to add to that, Brian, about the panel?
Yeah, there was someone from the city council there. There was Greg, the executive director from Beloit International Film Festival. There was a couple from the new podcast there in the local area, and everybody was very very nice. I missed the community aspect of everybody in the Midwest. That's what I needed to see was real community. You don't get that in California. I don't see that in Vegas. So Roxy, you know from being Ohio what those small towns are like. They're actually quite nice, and I don't think a lot of people get a chance to really experience that level of those towns.
Yeah, I can't imagine not having that. So what is it like not having it?
Just you feel like you're out there and you're just out there by yourself. But it's more community family situations that I like. We even saw a screening of the Monkeys, the movie of the band, and that was actually pretty cool. Terri was obviously talking to it. Angelica liked it, and me and Jessica were kind of.
I liked it. I grew up with the Monkeys. I enjoyed it very much. We all got clappers. I gave my boyfriend's son the clapper last night, so now he's going to drive. There were these like hand things that you clap, like certain parts of the movie.
Plastic ones.
These plastic things. So yeah. So last night I gave it to my boyfriend's youngest, and he's like, "Oh my God, drive me crazy with this." But anyway, that was a fun premiere. Actually, they had a sing along too. So every time they would play the monkey song, they would sing along with the monkeys. So and that was at the castle, which they also have how would you say, a school for, is it is really kind of a school for music for children, which was really nice. And so we got to go see the back, and they have like also do they teach puppeteering there, or do they just have puppet shows?
That the next day when you and Angelica Robles was there, the national best-selling author. She was there, and she got there Thursday. I was supposed to get there Thursday, but I couldn't get there because of the flight. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But Angelica got smashed. Let's say that. She had a great time. The people took her out, and it was fun. And I got a chance to meet the people that took her out the last night when you guys were gone.
Yeah, and she got to promote her book Through These Brown Eyes. And you know, everybody was really receptive to her book. And it was kind of nice too. There was some young filmmakers that came to our panel. Then they actually were from Los Angeles. One of them was actually from New York, had relocated to Los Angeles. So we found some of their California people there. But we're going to be bringing them on the show. Isn't that correct, Brian?
Yeah, we actually are. They were at the panel, and they had fun meeting Angelica and Terri. I saw a video of Terri dancing. I should have sent it to you. Also, this young guy tried to pick Terri up, which I thought was hilarious.
I'm like, he's like 22 years. I'm like, how old are you? And he's like 22. I'm like, I could be your mother. And he's like, I don't care. It was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
And the best ever is he want me to buy you a drink? And I'm like, okay, you can buy me a drink. And he goes, I'm only going to buy, he goes, what did he say to me? But it was so funny because he was just so forward. He's well, I'll buy you a drink on one condition. You go home with me. I'm like, it's okay. I'll buy my own drink. But it was really funny because I couldn't believe that this came out of his mouth. But anyway, no, we had a blast though.
Very forward.
Yeah, it was really forward. But I was like, you know what? At least he was honest.
So,
So
I'm in. There's like I forgot what the bar was called, but it's a cool bar. And in the first front, it's like a college setting type bar, and you're in the back. They're playing like hip hop music. And I'm talking to Jessica because I hadn't seen Jessica since 2019. Jessica Heim, she's our singer performer. She performs on the cruise ships. And I go in the back, and Terry's on the couch and sitting with this guy. I couldn't stop laughing. And I know he's trying to pick her up. I know he's trying to do his best, But I know she's not going to take this guy home.
That's hilarious.
No, I was just no. I mean, it was. I mean, I talked to everybody. It was nice to humor him. I had no interest in him. Like you, like I'm just, I'm just not into 22-year-old boys. I'm just not. But anyway, oh god. But yeah, it was. It was. There were a lot of fun things that happened at that trip. I'm trying to think. Yeah, and then Angelica kind of got stranded at the bar, and then they kicked him out of the bar, and then they were ordering pizza, and then the guy came out and he's like, "You guys are still here?" Because they couldn't get an Uber because there's like only one Uber in the whole town because the town's so small.
Oh wow.
See, the
Wow.
fun-
I've been to
also-
towns where Ubers don't go. They just
That's true. That's true. There's
well,
ways-
the thing about Beloit, which is actually fun, is everything is right next door to each other. It's like a big square. You walk through one square, everything's there. You walk to another square, everything's there. And they use the restaurants and the bars as screening locations, which is actually pretty cool. So we went from Ironworks Hotel, which is what I want to have as a host hotel, across the street, which was the Goodwin Hotel, and they have a rooftop. So that was actually fun, wasn't it, Terri?
Yeah. Oh, that was the rooftop. That was the bar that we were at. Yeah, that was really nice. I mean, everything was nice there. Everybody was really friendly. It was a good getaway. It was a good first event. I mean, first traveling event that we've done since COVID. So it was, it was exciting to do that. And I'm like a ham, so I like to talk about myself on the panel. So
How did they choose the location?
how long has that film festival been going on? That I didn't know.
15 years. 14 out of 15 years, it's actually made money. Because people really come out to support it. And it's a small town of 36,000.
Yeah, it is really fun. So like about an hour away from Chicago. It was like an hour drive from the airport, from O'Hare to the Ironworks where we stayed, the hotel. Yeah. So that little area, that Ironworks, kind of explain that to people, Brian, because I don't know how to explain it correctly. I don't want to mess it up, but it's kind of interesting because there's Ironworks Hotel, and then there's the community center and all that.
Well, there's a lady named Diana Hendricks, and also Beloit Filmworks there. That Iron Tech thing, they have a great structure that they were like. It's like they remodeled the whole town. She's a billionaire. Very, very nice. She's a lover of fan film and movies. So she actually helped get it all going. Rod Beloit, who used to work with Hollywood Film Festival, he started it. He came from the music background. He was Clive Davis's right-hand man. So his last claim to fame was discovering Lenny Kravitz. So from that, he put the music world together and made it a movie world. And then it became Beloit International Film Festival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we'll be looking forward to the next one, which, I don't know, there's a lot of events that are coming up, but we got Tennessee in May for the Women in TV and Film Festival, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we have WeedCon coming up on Thursday. I'm going to try my best to go. That's gonna be interesting. That's in Thousand Oaks, correct?
Yes, we've been invited to go to WeedCon. Our friend Terri Alexander, who was going to be on tonight, but she couldn't come on because she was setting everything up, and she has a whole new crew. A couple of her people ended up getting COVID. Someone had death in the family. So she couldn't come on tonight. So I said I would talk about her Sun Brand Production, her CBD company, and why it's relevant. So they actually put this on, and they invite all cannabis companies from around the world to go to her event. So she's been in the business for like 40-something years. Only 7 years has she come above ground to actually be able to showcase stuff legally. But David Crosby, from Crosby, Stills and Nash, Robbie Kruger from The Doors, a lot of her musician friends that she's known for 40 plus years, they've all been in that world. Now they're all part of it legally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then we were supposed to do that in early 2020, and it got canceled because of COVID, if I remember correctly, because we met them at NAM and actually did a brief interview with her on site at NAM.
Yeah, and Roxy, I didn't know how big she was because I didn't know. I hadn't been to any of her stuff. She's a pioneer in the cannabis industry with everybody. And we were just interviewing her at the NAM convention. And NAM stands for National Association of Music Makers. So it's the biggest music convention in the world. And it's always in Anaheim. So Roxy, you know of that.
Yes, I know of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then actually, I know you sent me the flyer. There is a charity for children behind the WeedCon, correct? The Safe
Yeah.
Harbors, is that correct? Am I getting Safe Harbors, right?
Yes, yep. That's
Okay.
her favorite charity for what she promotes, helping kids, which
Mhm.
is charity actually, which is good. And also be happy. I'm actually wearing my
Cute booty.
You're cute.
so actually Terry saw them in person, but they're so comfortable. I like
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to get a picture of all the girls and Brian in our cute booties and send them to Cute Booty. Since we all have a pair now, or a couple of pairs, that they're really comfortable.
They look it.
Yeah, the lounge ones are my favorite.
Oh, you know who we have to talk about and thank is our driver, Nate. Wasn't Nate cool?
Yes, Nate was really cool. So Nate got up in the middle of the night because Brian and I both had red eyes. My flight came in at 5:30. Brian came in at 6, and so he was up early in the morning to come get us and haul us around everywhere. So we really appreciate that, and got me to the airport on time. And I got home with like no issues. Yeah, I actually was able to get on an earlier flight, which I was surprised because I thought I was going to have to sit around the airport for a while. That never happens. And then I had a middle seat, and then the airplane gods were with me because that person didn't show up, so I got to sit. I didn't have to sit in the middle seat. So I'm like, oh, I got on my flight early, and I didn't have to sit in the middle seat. That never happens.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I hear there's a lot of issues that happen with flying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Brian,
well,
yeah, don't you have a story to
We
tell?
could do a whole program on the airlines and the F-ups.
so I'm going to jump into this because one, I don't care, but I don't like flying Frontier. The last time I flew Frontier was back from Super Bowl 2020. February 3rd of 2020. I didn't want to stay. This is right before COVID. I knew something was happening. I always saw it coming. I just felt strange. In the bag, my blue duffel bag that I've taken around the world with me for free as a carry-on, they charged me $70. And I said, "What?
For one bag?
$70 on
One
the
bag. Because
yeah."
well, the normal rate's $30.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no. This has been my carry-on bag for years.
oh, they charge you for carry-on. Oh, carry-on bag? They didn't. Okay, like because usually when you check your bag, it's 30. I didn't know it was a carry-on bag.
No, carry-on bag. They charge me $70.
Well, that's why you don't. That's why you don't fly Frontier because they charge you for everything.
I didn't have a choice. I had a good rate. I didn't know. I never flew Frontier
You don't
before.
really have a good rate because they get you with everything else.
And they did. So I didn't want to fly Frontier ever again. They go complain to the front office. There's nobody to complain of. There's nobody in the front office, nor do they care. So this time I had Stephanie, my LA driver. Hey, Stephanie, book me a flight because I'm getting everything done last minute. I don't have time to do that. Hotel and plane flights, I'm not good at doing because I don't have time. So she's doing it overnight. She can't get the rate going. She gets me something on Spirit because I've taken Spirit from LA to Chicago just to get there. Fine, never had a problem. Now, what I didn't know that Spirit and Frontier are one now. Didn't know that. Had I had known, I wouldn't have done. So she got me a good ride. I just needed to get there because everything was coming down to the last minute. And by the way, Fanmare, Terry, you met Jamal Anderson. Fanmare sponsored my trip going there. So what I want them to do next time in Tennessee is I want them to sponsor me and Terry's trip to Tennessee. So that was the test of all the stuff, but I had to wait for it to come over, and it came over last minute. So when things come over last minute, you're stuck by booking your ticket last minute. We didn't have a choice.
Well, I was just going to say the overall problem I noticed with the airlines is getting customer service because when I was trying to change my flight, I had to wait like 4 hours for me to call me back. Like you can't get anybody to help you right away on anything, and it's just always.
Huh? Well, she was on the phone overnight. She started at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
While I was sleeping, but I was up. She was like, she kept booking it. She could get someone, but it wouldn't let you save it. You would have to pay for it right away. There was no 24-hour save. So I'm like, well, that's interesting. So by the time I talked to her at 5 a.m. Los Angeles time, we finally booked it. And then she had problems booking it because it wouldn't let her finish. And then it says you have to book an item to carry on. They won't let you not do it. You have to do it. So by the time I went to go check in, they go, "Oh, there's no proof that you paid for a bag." Yeah, I did. I paid $55 for a bag. I paid 30 for American, and then I had to pay $65 because they couldn't prove that I paid $55. What does that tell you?
That's insane.
That is really
I don't have,
insane.
I don't have any choice in the matter, and I still have to pay when I leave tomorrow, probably $65 to take my one black suitcase Terry back. So that means I'll have paid 3 out of 4 times on one airline.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I mean, I just paid $30 for my extra bag, but I mean that's standard. I mean, the only airline that doesn't charge for bags is Southwest.
But here's the thing.
Mhm.
Remember, I've always gone on in and out flights, so I never had to check a bag because I knew. So it was the first time I actually had to pay for one. And when I flew with Delta, friends and family, because my mom worked for Delta, I could take my free bag. They wouldn't charge me. So remember, I used to have that extra. Those days are gone. You don't have that stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Roxy, you haven't flown yet, have you?
I've flown. The last time I actually flew was Frontier, and they lost my suitcase for 3 months. And
Oh, jeez.
they kept saying it was in some warehouse where lost luggage goes. And I'd call there once a week. 3 months later, I finally get it back, and I had to go pick it up at an airport close by. And somebody had went through it, and it was Christmas time when I went, so I had Christmas presents in there. And somebody went through it and took all the Christmas presents out. Like, what the hell?
Oh, so
Wow.
they actually lost your bag and then
And then fixed it. Yeah. But I couldn't do anything about it. So
I'm surprised you got your bag back. You know where it is? It ends up in Alabama. Oh, no. It ends up in Kentucky. That's where all lost bags end up.
Mm-hmm. I've had my bag. I've had American lose my bag, but they lost it for like a day, and I've gotten it back. But I've never that's crazy to lose it that long.
And I lost it because they bumped up a flight, and so by the time I got off my layover, I couldn't make it to my next one. So I was stuck in Dallas overnight, and they wouldn't pay for a hotel room for me or anything. So I had to sleep there in the building, and and wait for the next flight the next morning. It's a horrible experience.
Yeah, I've been stuck where I couldn't get on a flight, and they're like, too bad, they won't pay for a room. You're just have to sleep at the airport or get a room. I've had that happen several times.
Well,
I think I got stuck in.
I've actually had that happen too. I'm used to staying up at the airport all night, and I just whip out my laptop and I work. But that's still not fun to go through that experience. And also, yeah, I got stuck in Phoenix. They made me take a flight from LA to Phoenix, and then I still don't understand this. We got into Phoenix from LA, no problem, on time. The flight, because of the time change, we got there at 9:57. The flight left at 9 o'clock their time.
Mm-hmm.
We went out late. It's like we went back into time. So, oh yeah, your flight left at 9 o'clock. I'm like, what do you mean it left? We got here at 10. We're on time. So they booked scheduled the wrong time, which I still don't understand. So there is no other flight. So I had to book a flight on American when the next day it doesn't leave until not 6 in the morning, like most flights leave, 8:30 in the morning. Then I had to go from Phoenix to Vegas and stay all day. I didn't leave until midnight, actually 10 in the morning. So I was supposed to be there Thursday, and Frontier, you guys fucking suck. Yeah, I said it, you suck. So the thing about that is you can't do anything about it because they have one flight, one red eye, and you have to stay there. Luckily, it's in Vegas, so I just stayed in the airport and I worked, and on the phone, I got everything done, and I took off, and I was like, ooh. And then I was so tired from staying up that night before in Phoenix that I almost missed the flight, Terry, because I'm sitting in the at 11 o'clock, it leaves at 10 and 12, and I started to get tired, and all of a sudden the phone rang. It woke me up, and everybody's boarding, and I had to go run to get to the boarding, or else I would have missed that flight.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's the airlines for you. I'm sure lots of people have tons of horror stories, and it's just gotten worse since the pandemic. It doesn't seem like they've gotten it together at all.
The lack of care, the lack of customer service, the relationship between people, everything has gone downhill. Everything.
And it's also too, and I mean, I hate to say this, but it's just like, since the mask thing has been in effect, everybody, I mean, it's the passengers, the air, like everybody on the plane, you know what I mean? Like it's, and I don't know if the airline stewardesses have been harassed so much that they've just gotten kind of an attitude. I don't know, they're just kind of mean. They used to be really nice, and I just seem like they're just like but it's like everybody who's been put through so much, so I guess everybody's lost their patience. But
here's what I don't understand. It's enough just to book your flight and go to security. I mean, remember when we used to complain about taking our belts off and our shoes off? That's not a complaint anymore.
yeah,
The complaint is you got to make sure that you have to wear your mask in the airport, which is freaky for one. And then a lot of people still haven't flown for a long time. A lot of people. So it's not that like the airports are really crowded, because they're not. However, everybody that I overheard conversations about, they missed military ceremonies, they missed deaths, they missed weddings. All of those were worse because no matter what, at least I was going to still hook up with Terri in Wisconsin to go to Wisconsin. So I couldn't complain. I was just bothered by I had to pay 3 times for luggage. That bothered me because it was already included, and then you can't prove that you did, and that's the sucky part because it went to third party. But they get a lot, and that's why I'm like, you guys get this a lot. So what are you doing about it? What can you do about it? And it's like they still make you out to be a liar. And since I'm black, I'm really a liar, so I really can't vouch for what I've done. No, it's really that bad.
I don't know. There's a lot of problems, but I mean, then they're overbooking everybody too, and they're always asking you if you want to don't want. I mean, every flight I've taken, they're like they offer you money or like a voucher to go take another flight, and you're like, it's.
Well, here's the thing. Your flight wasn't booked on the way there. Neither was mine, so I didn't see any of that.
Well, usually I'm going to say that was really rare, and I think it's because of the time that we were flying. But usually the flights I take, they're overbooked.
No, well, I don't care. So here's the thing. My
flight home was overbooked leaving.
Well, you left in the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you take a red eye, there's a chance it's not going to be overbooked. I'm just saying in general, they overbook it, and they usually offer people money to like not take the flight. I think somebody else we were talking to, wasn't it Nate that said he was late to his flight and then he couldn't get on because he was late, so they gave his ticket away or something? I think he mentioned that. Yeah.
So Roxy, my flight, it had at least 60 empty seats in the back. 60. How do I know? I counted.
So
if you guys know me, I'm I'm always counting 60.
So how does that pay for everybody's tickets? They pay for the gas, the fuel, and all that. So how can they afford to run half empty flights? I mean, I know, luggage cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine didn't get lost. I'm surprised because my luggage went to Vegas, and I couldn't prove that it went to Vegas. And I was like, did it go? Oh yeah, it went. I'm like, how do I know that? Because you guys don't have a good track record. And I never fly American, and I flew American, so I was like, you guys are almost as bad as Frontier. Yeah, American, I'm grouping you as bad as Frontier.
They all have problems. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that like the least problems I've ever had is with Southwest. The least problems.
I've never had any problems in Delta, believe it. Never in all the years that I've flown.
I've had issues with Delta. I've never had an issue with Southwest. Delta, I've gotten stranded. I've missed flights before on Delta. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you were
what?
You were probably hungover.
No, I wasn't. It's going on a business trip. I fly all the time for business. No, it was nothing to do with being hungover. My flight was late from leaving LAX. I was going to where was I going? I had a transfer in Dulles, and they messed up. Yeah, they all have issues. That's my opinion. I'm just saying Southwest, I haven't had an opinion. I have not had a problem with. All the rest of them, something crazy's happened.
Yep, they all have issues, and they're not doing anything to improve.
Yep.
And I see it getting worse too, especially with everything that's going on in the world.
They don't have enough staff.
Yeah, people are afraid to. Well, so people have been enticed with staying at home and working from home. So they love, that's the good life. They're choosing that over actual labor. So everything that requires labor or customer service in that position is diminishing and nobody wants to do it anymore. So you're lacking, personal service there. And
Mhm.
then people are scared to go out too, so they're just scared to actually work in customer service. So
Yeah, I've noticed a decline in customer service with everything since COVID. And I don't know if it's like a new attitude where people just got lazy or like, I don't know. But I mean, I've just noticed it. I'm just not, getting like everything takes forever to get done.
yep.
So
Well,
I mean,
I'm talking before we even get on the plane that the service is bad. And I don't understand people acting up on the plane. I can see them acting up before they go through TSA and stuff like that. Once you're on the plane, I'm like, you should be glad that you're on the plane because just getting to the plane is like walking through a minefield. It really is. I mean, no, it is. Remember when we used to complain about taking your shoes and belts off? That's the least of anybody's worries. You've got to make sure that you have everything now. Everything. And it's so easy to lose everything. It just is. And then by the time you get to the plane, you're like, you can't wait to sit down. And then you're like, well, we went through all of this and there's nobody on the plane. Because this is my first time flying since January 2020.
mhm. Oh, really? It is? I didn't realize that. I thought you'd flown before.
Yeah, I
Oh,
knew what it was going to be like. I wasn't in any rush to go fly, and neither isn't a lot of other people. I could see why.
I've been flying. I mean, I haven't. I mean, again, I haven't had any. I'm gonna say I haven't had any major issues. Um, I just noticed that I'm just noticing it takes longer when I call customer service or like just kind of attitudes at the airport. But like that's it.
Yeah, but you're different. You fly for business. I'm always talking about the average person who doesn't need to, because people aren't flying because they want to. Those days are gone. They're flying because they have no choice. And
Mm,
when you do that, you're not really protected by anything. Remember, you have mileage. Most people do not have that stuff. So I'm always speaking for the people that don't and don't get a fly unless it's for an emergency. Those are the people that I was talking to that have problems. They wanted to go see their son graduate at military school and their flights was canceled and they had no reason. And then their luggage was lost. And then and I'm not even talking about weather. There wasn't any weather issue from everybody I talked to, and there should have been, but there wasn't. There was just simple miscommunications on flights, on booking. And then they changed the gates. And they don't tell you that they changed the gates. And back in the day, they would tell you they changed the gates. Now you don't know that they changed the gates. That's another thing I
Yeah,
found
you
out.
have to hunt it down yourself.
Yeah. So Terry, you don't count.
Yes.
okay, fine. I'll just say my experiences. That's all.
So Roxy, how was your show last night?
My show was really good. We had young Zunk on, and he's 22, and he was so humble,
Mm,
and he had a very old soul. So it's really invigorating to talk to somebody that knows where they're going, knows what they want at such a young age, and do it with such that he has pride and he's got his wits about him. So
wow.
it's good to see that in somebody because you think millennials. Oh, I got my thoughts about millennials. I don't know if you do or not, but I got my thoughts. But this guy, young Zuck, he was a genuine person.
He was at our Super Bowl event, Terry. I don't know. It is a nice show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I got to talk to him.
I was gonna say, you went to a couple conventions, Roxy, too, right?
Yep, I was only a state away from you. I was in Indiana for the weekend, Indianapolis and um, Evansville.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you went to that.
Not too far, no.
yep.
So probably like an hour and a half maybe. But yeah, we did the Reptile Expos. It was our biggest one of the
Oh,
year.
wow.
We did really good.
How many people attended that?
I would say I think they clocked in at uh I think it was 1,400 the first day, and then the second day was over two.
Mm-hmm.
So there was quite a bit of people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, we've been used to seeing like 300 or 400 a show, so to see that incline, it was really helpful for our business.
And then, so how many hours did you have to drive?
4.5 was the longest. 4.5 one way, and then they were 2 apart, so not very long. The farthest we've ever driven was to Florida. It was like 14 hours or something. So
That's over a weekend?
Yep. And it was a 2-day show down there in Florida. It was a lot of fun though, because I've not ever been to Florida before, so it was great.
Wow. Yeah. So Terri, you want to talk about your a little bit of your art and what you're doing? So this is the funny thing. Terri's graphs. She's so hooked up on her graphs now, which is actually quite amusing.
What are you talking? What about my trading class?
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. Well, it's kind of boring. I'll talk about it. No, I mean, I'm taking a class every Sunday because I'm just learning how to trade, because I want to learn how to trade crypto and stocks, and it's just a skill I've been wanting to do for a long time. I started actually during COVID, taking the classes so I could learn to day trade, and then that kind of got me into interest of the NFTs. And so now I'm working with Carl, because Carl knows how to actually create them. So we're partnering together, and I've got the outline, I've got the whole series. I can't really talk too much about it until I get up on the blockchain, because an NFT is actually currency, if people don't really realize it. But anyway, there's going to be different characters. Each character, then there's a theme. Each character has a message. So again, I really can't. I mean, I talked about it a little bit on the panel, but I didn't realize like how detailed it was to create them. Because again, I did the artwork, right? But I'm gonna have to recreate them, because when you create an NFT, you have to do it by layers. So you do one layer, and then you add the color to that, and then you do another layer and another layer. And that gives it the depth, and then it makes each one of them original. So each NFT is completely different. There's not more than one of them that makes any sense. They're all unique. So I know now that I'm back, Carl and I met last week, kind of went through a plan on what I need to do. And that's kind of where it is right now, Brian. But we're excited about it. And we got a marketing plan together. I've got everything. Now I just have to execute everything.
So for those that don't get into NFTs, how do we see what you've produced?
Well, you will be able to see what I produce once I get it up on the blockchain. So there's different platforms that you can sell NFTs on. One is OpenSeas. And then basically the artists, they put their artwork on there. And then you have to use cryptocurrency to buy them. Like you can buy them on the Solana blockchain, Ethereum blockchain. I think Polymatic has NFTs on there. So once those are up, I mean, I can actually show you the images on the show on what they look like. But if you were to purchase them, you would go to, OpenSeas. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using OpenSeas for the platform that I'm going to be selling them on, but that's one of that's really the one that everybody knows about right now. I mean, this is a whole new world with NFTs, and I'm learning a lot of myself. A lot of actors are using, designers are using them for their clothing. Musicians are using them for their music. Snoop Dogg has an NFT. Melania Trump has an NFT. So it's just really cool way to showcase, your art, your music, so I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
Currency, yeah. Nice.
And there's also currency, so it goes up in value. So when you sell, the art is going to go up. I think the Beebles thing went for, I don't know, over $1 million, $1 million, something crazy for the first NFT that was sold.
Wow. And a lot, I know musicians are doing it for, album covers and stuff, and to spotlight themselves.
Yeah. So again, it's just kind of like, I want to talk about it more, but it's like, I've got such a good idea that I don't want my idea to be stolen. So before I get it up on the blockchain, because, that's one of the things that, you have to be careful about what you say, because once you get your So, I mean, if you get your stuff out there before it's trademarked or before it's up on the, I mean, it's just, you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Linda Steele just sent me a message. She goes, I hope your broadcast goes well. Linda is going well in your bedroom.
Live from Linda Steele's bedroom.
So she has a client tonight she's training?
Yeah.
Did you get to check out the gym? How's your gym?
Oh, it's very nice. I like it. I'm when we are going to come back, and then Stein Pinballs, they call me. They had set up something Thursday, but I'm leaving tomorrow because they're not fully open to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So I called them. It's like you would have to always do something like in a week in advance. You know, the days of calling last minute don't really work anymore. You know, last minute. I mean, I called 2 days ago, but he only goes in like once or twice a week, and he's the one that would get the tour, but it would be fun with all the stuff that we're doing. But I got a chance to see the famous Linda Steele shoe room. It is. It's got. Look at that. You both said "oh" at the same time.
Yeah, because I need a closet for just my shoes. I mean, I really do.
I think you've got a couple hundred shoes in there, but it's beautiful. It's like a mecca. I walked in and my mouth dropped. It's one thing to see it but it's another thing to see it in person. And then her dog, it's like a Great Dane named Scarlet. Beautiful. So she was laying with me downstairs. And then she has a whole downstairs area, which is like a whole bedroom apartment within itself. It's really cool. So it's been fun. Now, we had a good time. Terri, you would have had a good time being here, and you could have worked, but I understand. Things change at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, it just that I needed to get back. I just had early meetings and stuff. But yeah, so it just worked out better that I got back. But sometimes it's like when you spread yourself too thin, that's when things go wrong. I've learned my lesson in my old age. Yeah, to try to like not spread myself as thin. You know, you want to do everything, but sometimes you can't. Unfortunately,
Roxy, the real reason she wanted to get back, she couldn't take the cold.
No. That's not why. That's not why.
Oh,
it's rough, I tell you.
It is. No, 50 degrees today was actually nice in Chicago. I'm like, I know this is not normal weather, right, Linda? She goes, nope.
80 degrees here today. So anyway.
It's been in the 50s or low 50s here in Ohio. Lovely Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so let's talk about Dreamweaver. So Dreamweaver was fun. I met a lot of artists. So the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, it is Giving Tuesday. I hadn't forgotten about it. We've just been busy. So if you are one of those artists, those authors and things like that, please feel free to donate to the Dreamweaver Arts, dreamweaverarts.org. It's a nonprofit. It's good. Now I've been finding a lot of artists who want to donate their art to the Dreamweaver Art, which is really, really cool. And Wade, his last name is Wade Boggs. His dad, Adam Boggs, was a world-renowned artist, and so now he's going to donate his dad's art to the dreamweaverarts.org, which is great. To the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. So that's nice. And his dad was a World War II photographer and everything like that. And it's fun to have these things like that. So the authors, looking at the library, looking at certain ways, how the Ironworks Hotel was, how the Goodwin Hotel was. And I look forward to doing that because it was really nice. I mean, we had a great stay. And Terri, and she slept actually well too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, the beds are amazing. They were really comfortable because sometimes that's one thing about hotels is like you get crappy beds sometimes. Even at like 5-star hotels, I've had just horrible beds, but yeah, the beds were comfortable. They were like up on high, nice and fluffy. So it was the rooms were really nice. I was really impressed with the hotel.
So Fanmare, I want to thank them again. That's the new social media app that we will be on doing stuff where we'll have our own subscribers and things like that. I want to thank EnviroCleanse because EnviroCleanse, I'm going to get one for Linda's gym. She can be the first female owner and the first female owner across country and in Chicago that have it because her family, her gym is run like a family, and that's really, really good. And I think we got like 60 seconds left, so I would say that I wasn't sure how this show is going to work. You never know what's going to happen at the last minute. I'm not used to doing it off the phone, but this is great. I think it worked. So Terri, give you social media links real quick.
It's a Terri and Marie nonstop on all platforms. And then my website is terriandmarieofficial.com. And I'm going to be putting some new stuff up there pretty soon.
And Roxy, go ahead, your show.
You can check out r.n.national on YouTube at Music Familia Productions or the Facebook group r.n.national Podcast.
And then since it's Women's Month, so next week will be International Women's Day, next Tuesday. So that'll be the show that we talk about women's issues, entrepreneurs, founders, inventors, and things like that. That'll be fun. And I have to always say this. I have to thank Roxy for this, for saving our butts for doing what we're doing, because it's never easy, and sometimes it is predictable. And technology is good, but technology also goes wrong. And and I'm not thinking the airlines or anything, because this is not the last time I'm going to be complaining about stuff, because I'm speaking for a lot of people who can't be speaking for. So I always say this: have a good night tonight. A better take tomorrow. And if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.